There once was a British sports car which cost £5,000 in the 60s and now sells for nearly £200,000. A car that could scorch from 0 to 100 miles an hour and brake to a standstill in less than 14 seconds.
The stuff of legends. A giant killer. The meanest, baddest, rudest, most evil sports car ever. The AC 7-litre Cobra.
Back in 1953, AC Cars launched their stunningly beautiful Ace. Pretty but not that powerful, it took a smooth-talking Texan called Carroll Shelby to shoehorn a series of V8 engines into the Ace, turning it into the legendary Cobra. The most outrageous of which was the 427.
But this was no hot rod built in a back alley. The early 289 Cobras, that's the ones with the 4.7-litre engine, had cart springs, Stone Age suspension. So to cope with all the power, Ford got their computers at Dearborn to design a new chassis for the 7-litre. And it had anti-dive and anti-squat characteristics and coil springs at the back. An ultimate power it was. Top speed was 165 and 60 came up in a bowel-shattering 3.8 seconds. It was the fastest car the world had ever seen.
Instantly it became known as a killer car. One Californian lost control at 100 miles an hour, his Cobra spinning no less than 10 revolutions before it went over a cliff. In 1969, a borrowed Cobra killed both its occupants by hitting a wall at 120 miles an hour, leaving skid marks 300 foot long. And one 18-year-old American plunged to his doom 200 foot down the Aspen Pass in Colorado.
There was so much power from the back wheels that you could literally rip ruts in soft tarmac. And rumour has it that when Carroll Shelby took prospective purchasers out for a test drive, he'd stick a $100 bill to the windscreen, bury the throttle, and tell his passenger he could have the bill if he could reach it. The sheer push from the G-forces meant he won every single time.
And despite officially stopping production in 1967, replica Cobras are still made here at the AC factory in Weybridge, Surrey. Traditionally hand-fettled with bodies painstakingly beaten out of aluminium. So why is this one legend that refuses to be forgotten?
It's a primeval sports car. It's one of the most blood-curdling cars that's ever been made, and I don't think anything else has ever been made like it since. It's a product of hand-built British craftsmanship. The people that buy them are true car enthusiasts.
I've always said that someone who thinks that they can tame a Cobra is an absolute fool that needs respect at all times.
The earlier Cobras, the 5-litre Cobras, you could tame. The 7-litre Cobras, you think you've tamed them, you abuse them once and they bite you back. You have it facing the other way around. You never ever tame a 450 horsepower car that weighs 1 ton.
Because the Cobra's natural habitat was the racetrack, many were written off and destroyed, and it's not unknown for the less than scrupulous to build a complete new Cobra using just an old chassis number.
Back in the days when they were raced, they were wrecked, new parts were bought, new chassis. Next week, the same car's back on the racetrack, the old tangled mass is still in the garage somewhere, titles are changed over, nobody bothered.
And I suppose a good Cobra is what, worth a 427, certainly, 150, 200 grand?
150, 200,000 pounds, so it's worthwhile people dragging the old wreck out of the garage and rebuilding it.
But I see you have this marvellous piece of history here with all the old chassis numbers.
Generally known as the Bible.
The Bible. And this is the definitive guide to Cobra chassis numbers.
This is the records of AC cars. AC cars have recorded every single car they've made back to 1931.
So let's take the 47 we've got here today, which is CSX 3167. Let's find out.
Oh, here we have it here. 3166, 3167. It was produced by AC Cars on the 18th of the 8th, 1965. It was painted red with a black interior. There's your chassis number, and it was sent to Carroll Shelby in Los Angeles on the SS Risanja.
And here is chassis CSX 3167. Now, this is no ordinary Cobra. This is the actual car as tested by John Bolster, the motoring journalist for the magazine Autosport, back in 1967, where he recorded such Olympian performance times that it made the Guinness Book of Records as the fastest accelerating production car in the world. And it's no wonder when you look at this, the mother of all engines. Now, here it is, a 427 cubic inch 7-litre Ford engine out of the Galaxy 500. Ford built this engine to go NASCAR racing, and it's got a cast iron block, alloy heads, solid lifters, and a double pumper Holley carburettor, pushing out 480 horses.
The 427 Cobra was swift enough to make even its fastest rivals look like they were going backwards, but not fast enough for Ford, who had bankrolled the Cobra project. Shelby and Ford wanted a car to win at Le Mans, and that meant doing 200 miles an hour, which even the Cobra couldn't do. So in 1966, Ford pulled out, and all in all, only 310 7-litres were made, instantly becoming collector's items.
So does the Cobra really deserve its reputation as the most dangerous car ever? Yes and no. Around town, it's a sleepy, grouchy old car. But once you press that pedal, its character changes into something that should be fired from a rocket silo. There is this indescribable wall of power, and that's what can get you into trouble. The Cobra will lose traction at any speed, in any gear, and on any surface. And when it does, you better hope there's nothing solid in the way, because you'll be spinning faster than Torville and Dean.
So there it is.
An ambition fulfilled, a childhood dream realized. I have driven King Cobra. I might not have tamed it, but at least I've lived to tell the tale.